Welcome back, traders, to some more back testing. So I'm going to do the last full week of April this time around. So almost 1/3 of the way done with the year 2024. Still a long ways to go, but at least I am making some good progress. So this time I'm going to be looking at the weekly chart, and I will be back testing from the 22nd to the 26th, but this is set for the 19th right now. And we finally have something to look at on the weekly chart. So you can see that we had a pretty big drop last week, taking out multiple lows. Now, if you look here, this was the last fair value gap on the weekly chart. Now I'm looking at this as an inversion fair value gap. We're still trading in it right now, but I want price to go under it and then use the lower half of this as resistance to push price down. And what I'm looking at is this void here. You see on the weekly chart, there is a big gap where there is no price or no trading whatsoever. And of course, this low down here. So I'm looking for these as a long-term target. Now let's go ahead and jump into the daily. That's going to give us a little bit of a better view here. So I'm looking for this low to get taken. Well, here we also have a daily low and also a daily fair value gap. It's kind of small, but it's there. So I'm looking for price to come here. This will be a good place to take partials. And here we went down below this swing low, so I want price to stay in the lower half of this weekly fair value gap. Now I am aware that we could be creating a daily fair value gap where price comes back up into it, but we'll deal with that when that comes. But in general, I want price to stay in the lower half of this weekly fair value gap, and it may get a little bounce from this order block, but yeah, let's go ahead and head to the next week. So Monday morning, April 22nd, just taking a quick look at the 4-hour, you can see that we went down from a long ways. This fair value gap was respected, and we took out the sell side below this low and this low, which was about halfway on that weekly fair value gap. And looking closer here, we do have a 4-hour fair value gap. I'm going to go ahead and just mark this out. Now we could retrace back up into this 4-hour fair value gap, but hopefully we don't trade above it. That's pretty much what I am looking for. So here's that 4-hour fair value gap, and I also went ahead and marked out 50% of the body on this 4-hour candle. This is going to be the order block, mean threshold. Ideally, I want to see price stay underneath this mean threshold. We could, like, wick into it, but in general, I do not want to see price closing above this mean threshold. Otherwise, my bearish idea may be wrong. Here on the 1-hour, nothing really interesting to note. We do have these fair value gap, but it's going to be pretty much taken care of with the 4-hour fair value gap. So I'm just going to go ahead and go into the 5-minute and start walking through today's price action. So nothing too much happened during pre-market. It's a little bit before 9:30's opening bell right now, and we are consolidating in the upper half of that weekly fair value gap. Now you can see that we do have a new week opening gap here, and there's kind of like relative lows, so this could be a good sell side target. But I am looking at all these lows here, close to 50% at that weekly fair value gap. Just going to mark out this one down here, although not really needed because we do have that 50% mark right there. Now on the upside, we did take out buy side just a little bit here. I wouldn't really count it. I'm going to go ahead and mark out this as the buy side. So I want to see price like maybe come up here to the 4-hour fair value gap, maybe take out this high, and then we start displacing lower. So 10:15, the 9:30 open didn't do a whole lot, although we did at 9:45 go up to take the buy side up here. Did not go into the 4-hour fair value gap, did not take out this high, and now we are below the 9:30 opening price. So I'm just going to go ahead and give it some more time to see how price is going to develop. There is no fair value gap to note at this moment. Okay, so 10:25. We've already dived down to take out the sell side below here, back into the new week opening gap. We did create this fair value gap. Now, we could start going below to take out this sell side down here, or even try to start leaving this weekly fair value gap. I think maybe it's a little premature, but I'm going to give it some more time to see what's going to develop. If we get a confirmation fair value gap on this one that was just created, I guess I could try to see if we can go down to that low, although not really excited about today's price action. I do see these relative highs. We could just be taking out the buy side just to clear it out, then come for the sell side liquidity sweep, and then we go back up to take the buy side again above these two highs back into that 4-hour fair value gap. So I'm just going to give it a little bit more time. If there's a confirmation, then I will reconsider the position, but you know, there is a chance that we could take out this high. So a little bit before 11 o'clock, we did come back into this imbalance and we have rejected it. And it looks like there's a potential for a fair value gap here. So if I do enter in this trade as a short, I'm aiming for this target. My stop loss will be up here, and well, depending on where the fair value gap closes, I will have the low of it as my entry. And it looks like probably only a 1-to-1 if if the fair value gap is here. We'll see where the candle closes, but I'm gonna go ahead and give this a shot, aiming for the sell side down here. So okay, the fair value gap closed a little bit higher, and I'll zoom in a little bit so you can see right here is my entry at 187. There's about 40 points of risk, and I'm going to be aiming for this low down here. That this trade is going to give me better than 1-to-1, maybe 1.5 to 1, which is nice. So let's go ahead and see how this develops. Okay, so we did start going down a little bit, but then we pulled back and I got stopped out. Only one contract, I think like by 0.7% on the balance or something like that. Now it looks like we're coming back up into this fair value gap, taking out the buy side above here. If we get another fair value gap to the downside, I may consider taking it, aiming for this low again. Yeah, we'll see what it looks like. I mean, the only thing I really want to avoid is this fair value gap on this BISI. If we could go below it and then use it as an inversion, so if we get a SIBI kind of like in the same location as this BISI, that may be good. That may be a trade I will be willing to go ahead and try again for this sell side down here. Okay, so it's 12:15, and as you can see, after that little dip here, we did go up and we went back pretty much into the middle of the range, you know, with the high here and the low here. We're pretty much at equilibrium for this morning's move. Don't know how the rest of the day is going to play out. We'll take a look, and then maybe that'll give me some ideas going into the next day. Okay, so the end of the day, we did continue to rally above this high, and we even take out this high into the 4-hour SIBI. We went above it, so I'm guessing we went into that order block, and then we started going down away from it. So I do like that, seeing how price is avoiding this order block, and we are now closing below this 4-hour SIBI. So we did wick into it, and now it's closing below this fair value gap. So let's go ahead and see what does the pre-market next day looks like, and then I'm still going to be looking for the downside. I'm looking for these lows. They are relatively equal lows, so hopefully they stay intact. This could be a target for tomorrow. All right, so Tuesday morning, April 23rd. Overnight, we just pretty much consolidated here in this BISI. And this 4-hour fair value gap, I'm going to refine this down to a 1-hour fair value gap. So I'm looking at this one up here. This is where price went up to. You can see the body stayed within that 1-hour fair value gap. It's a SIBI. And when we went up there once again, and now these two down candles on the 1-hour chart, we're going below this up candle, this 1-hour up candle. So I am hopeful that we will be going down, but I need to see dramatic displacement. We do have this high put in close to this high. We could go ahead and go for the buy side. I really don't want to see price go above this one. I mean, this was that order block on the, I believe it was the 4-hour order block. All right, so 9:15, still before the opening bell, but we did rally up to take out this high. Question is, are we going to go for this high as well? I'm going to go ahead and mark it out just so I know where it's at. But what I'm looking at is, well, we took the sell side here. I'm thinking we could sweep this high once again, but then I want to see price go down below this low. That will be a market structure shift for me. And then down here, I can see that we do have all of these lows. I'm going to mark this one out. This is going to be my initial target. It looks pretty flat, and this happened overnight during the Asian session. All right, so 945. We did take out this high, and this big move to the upside, I'm not really liking it for the shorts. I mean, we could still get opportunity to go short, but it pretty much have to go down and take out this low. Otherwise, I'm not really going to be touching it on the short side. Just want to zoom out to the 4 hour just to see what's going on the long side. We could be going for this fair value gap up here. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this one. We already know that we have taken out the buy side, and I'm going to go ahead and keep the mean threshold on this order block just to see how we close today. But could be going for this high. That's fine. We do have a small fair value gap in this range as well, and we also have another, let me go ahead and make it bigger. We also have another 4 hour fair value gap above. I'm just going to duplicate this. It'll be right there. This is what I'm looking at. It's not precise, but I'm going to go ahead and fix it. All right, so 1030, we did take out this high. Gonna go ahead and zoom out just to show you again what that high was. On the 4 hour chart, it was this high over here, and we have a 4 hour fair value gap. Looking for price to come and reach into there, but today really not going to be touching anything. I was looking for shorts. Don't think it's going to close down today. I think we are going to have an up day. Maybe there's a setup to go here for up here, but let's go back down to the 5 minute. I guess if we do come back into this fair value gap where it took out the high, and then we have a confirmation fair value gap going higher, I can try to get in and go for this 4 hour civvy. But you know, the reward is not that much, only a little bit more up. I'll have to have really good risk in order for me to want to take that trade. So getting close to 1130. It was a little bit choppy here. We did come down into this fair value gap, like I said, but we didn't create a fair value gap to the upside. Instead, we came down, took the low one more time, created a civvy. We traded above the civvy, created a busy. So we do have another fair value gap, but I don't like how this already took out the buy side or these highs. Ideally, I wouldn't like that. So I don't know. I think today I'm just gonna pass. It's already like getting close to 11:30, getting close to the end of my time window. I'm just gonna say today is a no trade day. Save my money for tomorrow. See if we can have any opportunities for Wednesday. Skipping to the end of the day, you can see that we did get up into that 4 hour civvy, consolidated for quite a while, and only got into it at close to around 2 o'clock. So even though we did reach this upward target, not really like a big energetic move to the upside. So not really, well, I'm not really bummed out. I mean, it's okay if when I chose to not engage today, which was probably a good decision. All this chop would have been pretty tough to sit through. But yeah, we went ahead and reached the top of that 4 hour civvy. So let's go ahead and take a look at the daily. I'm a little curious as to what we got here. So we did bounce off of this weekly after taking out the sell side. That is to be expected. We are going to the upside, and I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this on the daily chart. I do see a daily fair value gap here. It's kind of small, but it's there. I think we could reach it. Well, we'll see. And then let's just jump down real quick to the 4 hour to see if there's any other insight I can engage. I guess it's just this 4 hour fair value gap. There is one above here as well. I'll just keep that as a mental note. I'm not gonna go ahead and annotate it, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's go ahead and move on to the next day. Okay, so Wednesday morning, we did trade above this first 4 hour fair value gap, and we're getting close to that daily fair value gap. I'm gonna go ahead and take this off. I don't really think any of this is relevant. We do have a little gap right here. Just to note, I'm gonna just draw this line here just to know that we have sell side, and remember that we have a little bit of a gap here below. Now buy side is gonna be above these highs that was created overnight. I think for today, we're gonna go up for the daily fair value gap, the daily civvy. We do have this high as well. Just gonna wait till the lower time frame show me what it wants to do. Now what I'm expecting is price to go up in here, and then I want to see a big move down, taking out this low. that will signal to me that, hey, it's time to start shorting into the, well, I guess the weekly fair value gap here. 8:30 news, we did take out these relative highs. Remember, that was going to be the overnight highs, the Asian highs, if you will. Remember, we do have that daily fair value gap. I'm going to wait to see if price can reach it before having a large displacement. I know right now we have a pretty big candle to the downside, but I'm not really going to engage unless we start getting a really extended move. So it's just before 9:30. We did have a pretty big dip, but we did not take out this low. So, but we created relative lows here, and we are starting to go back up again. Now I'm going to watch this fair value gap. I'm not going to draw on the chart, but I'm just going to keep an eye on this little gap to see if it's going to provide some resistance or not. Remember, we still have that daily fair value gap that we can go up, take out this high, go back into that daily fair value gap. And 9:30 was pretty explosive to the upside. I'm going to keep these relative equal lows in mind, but what I'm anticipating is us going into this daily fair value gap, and then I'm going to start seeing rejection. It is almost 10 o'clock, so this is good. I do like to see this. I want to see price go into it, reject. There's no fair value gap just yet on the downside. So far, we've pretty much been trading back into these up candles. Just going to give it a little bit more time to see what price is going to do. Okay, so we did create a SIBI right here. We have the SIBI. Going to take this buy side out. It's a little distracting, but I'm not taking this SIBI. What I want to see is I want to see a confirmation. I want to see price go down below the opening of this candle. That would give me a change in the state of delivery once again. And I want to see price create a fair value gap before it take out these relative lows. I'm going to try to enter in a confirmation fair value gap, aiming for these lows as my first partial. Although going down below these lows, I think it could come and take this down as well. Zooming out just a little bit, let's see if there's anything else. Remember, there is the reason why I say that. Remember, I actually forgot, but we do have that small little gap overnight. So I think those relative lows take out this low to go back into this gap. This would be a nice target to aim for. Other than that, I'm not really seeing too much. I mean, we could aim for all of these individual lows, but I don't know. Maybe we just stay safe with this if we get our setup. Okay, so here is a potential setup. It hasn't done forming yet, remember, so this fair value gap may not, well, it may not stay in here, but I'm going to go ahead and put my risk at the tie of this up candle. I'm looking at this as a propulsion block. Remember, that's going to be an order block, nearby an order block. I'm looking at this up leg here. This is going to be a big order block, and then or I guess this candle right there. But then when it goes down and then it creates this up candle, I'm looking at this. Anyways, either way, my stop's going to go up here above the down candle. And I'm looking for price to come back into maybe here. Maybe this is going to be in my entry. Looks like about 40 points. So I'm going to be able to take one contract. But if, of course, if the candle closes up a little bit higher, I'll have my entry a little bit higher, wherever that fair value gap is. Okay, so next few candles, you can see we did come up and pretty much close this in. So no fair value gap, no trade entry. Going to take this out. Could it still work? Yeah, I think it could come back into this. Well, it looks like it already did. It went back into this fair value gap. It could be used as a reclaimed fair value gap. I'm thinking if we start moving lower, if we don't get another SIBI, I may just miss the move, even though I called the correct direction. All right, and it is almost 11 o'clock. We pretty much went down to these relative lows. It was pretty choppy on the way down, but yeah, so no entry here at all. What I could have done was enter into this fair value gap as a reclaimed fair value gap. I wouldn't know exactly where I would put my stop, actually. I mean, would I put it probably above this high? So that was a potential possibility, but not really part of the model, so I didn't engage. Just went ahead and let it go. Now we do have lower targets. If we go ahead and put in a relative equal low here, go back up, and then we start displacing lower again, like maybe that is a potential entry, but unfortunately, I think today just didn't give me that perfect setup, even though my general idea was correct. And the next couple of candles, we went down to take out this low as well. Now, there is a potential here for a fair value gap. I don't really like how we already took out the sell side, but taking a look here, if I have my risk at the high, if that's my entry and I have the risk at the high, let's remove some of these lines to get rid of some confusion. This is going to be about 26 points. I could go in one contract, go for like a half position, half of a normal position, and then I would still aim for, I believe we already went into this gap, which is unfortunate, but I could try to aim for this old low here. This is definitely going to give me better than a 1-to-1, so I'm going to go ahead and try it for that. So here the fair value gap remain intact. I have my order sitting here. We'll see if we get if it comes back for me or not, but I am looking for price to come down to this target, and as you can see, this is going to be about a 3-to-1 trade. Okay, so 11.35, I got tagged in. Now I want to see big displacement. It'll be really nice to see another fair value gap to the downside, and this is exactly what I want to see. Even now, like since we took out this low, I can go ahead and put my stop to break even. My idea also is if we create a fair value gap here, I can put my stop just above the high here because I do not want this fair value gap to get closed in right away. Kind of looking at this as a breakaway gap since this is like the first fair value gap away from all this consolidation. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and put my stop loss here if this fair value gap remain intact. Okay, so the fair value gap did remain intact. I got my stop here, so definitely in the green no matter what, but only one contract, only half size, you know, because I wasn't really sure about this. But looks like we will get hit into our target fairly soon, hopefully within the next 20 minutes or so. Okay, right at 12:15, the end of my trading window, we get our target filled. Never retraced back into this fair value gap, so my stop was completely safe the whole time and only had a little bit, like maybe 10 minutes of drawdown. So yep, excellent trade. It's been a long time since I had a really banger one, so awesome. Okay, so I'm going to take a look at the rest of the day's action and then we'll move on to the next day. So here's the end of the action. You can see that after I got my target was hit over here, over lunch, we rallied back up, taking out this high. I would have gotten stopped out in profit, of course, but we went ahead and just chopped around a little bit and we started dropping down even lower, closing down on the day. So let's go ahead and take a look at the daily before we go to the next day. You can see that we did go and tap into that the daily fair value gap, the daily SIBI. We did create a BISC here on the daily chart, so I'm going to go ahead and note it. Hopefully this will be used as inversion, so that means I want price to trade down below it, and then I want it to be used as resistance to push price down below this low. So hopefully we go down, up, use it as resistance, and then go down for this low. So hopefully that's clear. So Thursday morning, April 25th. This is the 1 hour chart. We do have a pretty large 1 hour gap. I'm going to go down to the 15-minute to see if there's any SIBIs that I want to note here. This is that daily BISC. We traded, well, I guess up and down and all around it, but we're currently above it. I would like to see prices go through it and use it as resistance, but we did tap that weekly, the weekly BISC just a little bit before we go back up. So hopefully this will be the last time and we can come down and reject this high and start going lower. Don't really know what where my sell side target will be other than these lows. These are kind of far away, so not sure where to take partials here. Perhaps below this low, but I'll zoom out and get back to it once we start actually, you know, getting there. But let's go down to the 15-minute and see if there's any fair value gap in here that I want to know. Of course, the obvious one is this, so I'm gonna go ahead and just draw that one out. So this big one is the only one I think that's worthy of note. I'm not gonna color it in, just gonna make it a gray one. So So I'm looking for price to come up above this high, back into this inefficiency, reject it, and ideally stay in the lower half, and then reject it, and then look for this low to get taken. So that's the plan going into the day. Okay, 8:30, we have a pretty wild wick here. I don't really like these candles. We have a big wick on the upside and a big lower wick as well. The lower wick, we took out the sell side, went back into that weekly busy. The upper wick, we created relative highs up here. We didn't take out this high, so there is a little bit of buy side. I think today we may be retracing a little bit, zooming out. I think that we could retrace to take out the buy side up here and come back into this inefficiency a little bit. You know, it was pretty inefficient. I think we may want to balance it out a little bit, the lower half, hopefully, and then we'll look for a drop later, maybe Friday. But let's go ahead and just see what 9:30 looks like. So here is just before 9:30. I just noticed that we have this 5-hour SIBI here. This is going to overlap with the lower half of that daily BISI. So if at 9:30 we come back up to retest the daily fair value gap and we remain in this SIBI on the 5-minute and we start displacing lower, that is a potential trade to take. Although I may want to, you know, wait for confirmation. I don't like how we've already taken out this sell side. Yeah, let's go ahead and go to the 15 minutes, see if there's any lows that I could be aiming for. Let's go to 10 days. And like I said, aiming for all these individual lows. I don't like how we already took out this one. Right, I'm going to mark it here just to show that we've already taken it out. This would be a nice target. Go ahead and mark this out. So if we do start displacing lower, I could aim for these relative lows. This one was already taken, so I'm going to go ahead and change it to a dotted line. But I think we may be coming back up to take out the buy side first before we drop back down. I think that will be the most ideal situation. Here we are at 10 o'clock. So at 9:30, didn't move a whole lot. We did go down lower, but we didn't take out those relative lows that I marked out. This is the sell side target, but we started having somewhat of a change. We have a change in the state of delivery right here, created a busy. We had like 15 minutes of wicks going into here. No bodies just yet. So it looks like we are going to be retracing, reversing, and I think we could come back into this fair value gap. This also lines up with that daily. So if I get another fair value gap, I could consider taking a counter trade trend to go for this. Not exactly sure. Today kind of feels a little iffy. I'm not really getting a clear read. Okay, so we did put in a BISI. This is a potential BISI. Also, I'm not really thrilled about taking this trade, but I guess I could play a little risky going below this order block here. This could be my risk. Let me go ahead and get rid of this dotted line. Just remember that the sell side was already taken. And I will be aiming for the low of this fair value gap. Like that will be my target. So my entry, in order to get a 1-to-1, would have to be halfway between the risks. So it has to be below here. Can't really take this fair value gap unless it starts dropping lower. I don't know. I guess I could take one contract. Whoa, fireworks totally freaked me out. Okay, got a little distracted. People were shooting off fireworks, but don't remember exactly what I was saying, but I think I was trying to get into this trade. The price would have to be, the entry would have to be below 50% of my target to my risk in order for me to get a 1-to-1. I think right now I'm waiting for this fair value gap to present itself, if it's going to stay, but right now the entry will be down here. It's going to be about a 20-point risk, which, you know what, I'm just going to take, just like yesterday, I'm going to take only one contract. Just kind of play with it. I mean, my higher time frame bias is bearish, but we are above the weekly fair value gap right now. It looks like we could be leaving it just for a little bit into this fair value gap. So gonna go ahead and just try one contract here. Okay, so no trade. It never came back down for me. We went into this fair value gap. So now I'm waiting to just see what it's going to do with this fair value gap. Are we going to use it to shoot price down even lower? Are we going to trade through it? Those kind of the things that I'm thinking about as I see price going into this fair value gap. And taking a look at the 15-minute real quick, you can see that on the 15-minute it is a pretty big gap as well. So just going to be patient. I think this low down here could be back in play should we start displacing lower. Okay, so I do like seeing this displacement here from this fair value gap. If we create another fair value gap here, I'm going to go ahead and try for a trade here. I'm going to go full size, risk up here at the 17, or the risk is 447.75. And my entry currently is here, but depending on where the fair value gap closes, I'm going to put my entry right at the low of the SIBI, whatever SIBI, if it remains intact. The only downside to this trade here is we are coming back into this fair value gap, and this could be used to launch price even higher. And so I question whether or not do I want to wait for confirmation. Another alternative is I can go in half size and then wait for a confirmation to go in the rest of my size. So I think if we have a fair value gap here, I'm just going to go full size, because going back to the 15-minute, remember we did kind of like, you know, take the buy side here, and this little wick did sweep the buy side. This is that daily fair value gap. Remember the daily fair value gap, it kind of just bumped it, and we have a 15-minute fair value gap. So all the you know, higher time frame is aligning, is telling me, hey, we're going to go lower, go down to here. So I'm going to go ahead and take a risk, go full size, whatever the risk I can. And yeah, I'm going to go for this target down here. If I do get stopped out, I can try for another shot. If we like, you know, take out the buy side here and then we start displacing lower, then there could be a second opportunity to get in. Okay, so here we go. That fair value gap did remain intact. I have my short entry here at the low with my risk up here. Okay, so it is 11:36 and I got tagged in, and then we actually created a balanced price range here. So looking at this balanced price range, I kind of don't want price to go above here anymore. So I'm just going to arbitrarily put it at 402.25. You know, that gives me about 2.5 points of leeway. I'm going to go ahead and just put my stop here, and that, oops, I did not mean to do the whole rectangle. So yeah, I'm just gonna put my stop here, and that way I'm at least break even. Like, and okay, it is like by noon we came back above this high. I did get stopped out, so I'm gonna count this as what, 2.5 points. So not a lot, pretty much break even. I was lucky that we did go down pretty quickly, and I was able to aggressively trail my stop. Now, looking at the end of the day, good thing I went ahead and trailed my stop aggressively, because we rallied up hard. I'm going to go ahead and jump onto the daily to kind of see what the situation is. I don't know what is going on here with this big rally up. There was some news after hours or something. Maybe, I don't know, GDP. I'm not exactly sure. But I'm going to go ahead and jump on the daily, just take a look at how the daily chart looked for today. We did come back down into this fair value gap on the daily. Remember, I wanted to see that used as resistance inversion, but looks like it's being used as support. So we also closed above this SIBI. So my next logical place that I think we're going to go is this daily SIBI here. It does have a volume balance, so I'm going to go ahead and include the volume balance. I think we're going to rally up into this imbalance here on the daily before we start going down here. So and that also lines up well with all these lows during this consolidation. So yeah, I think we're going to go into the last day, Friday. Okay, last day of the week, Friday, April 26th. We do have this large rally here. I'm going to go to the 15 minutes, see if there's any significant fair value gaps to take note of. Yesterday I said I was looking for price to rally up into that large fair value gap on the daily. We could still do that, marking out this high that happened overnight or at 4 o'clock. And on the downside, we do still have these relative lows. So if we do start, like, let's say going below all of this inefficiency, if we start trading below this, the opening price on this up candle, the opening price, then we could be looking for shorts going down here. But, you know, being a Friday, not really expecting much, because Monday, we started here on Monday, and here was like the little manipulation here, rallied up, rallied down, kind of like topsy-turvy today or this week. And then here I'm expecting this actually to be the high of the week on Thursday. I think Friday we may just come back and consolidate in this area, so we may not have a trade today. Could be a very boring day. All right, and the 15-minute, there wasn't any fair value gaps to note, and even here on the 5-minute, you can see that we just rallied up so fast. The only thing I could really do is mark out 50% of this range here, this big rally. And if price stay above here, we can be bullish. If it goes down below, we can start considering bearishness, but we need to have the right market structure. And then here, looking at the overnight action, this consolidation, we have lows. The sell side will be down here. And right here, we did go back into that daily SIBI. And I'm going to mark here as the buy side. We could take out the buy side here and go back into that SIBI without taking out this high. All right, so there was some big news at 8:30. Not sure exactly what news on Friday that we would expect, but we did. Wait, let me take a look at the. So I wouldn't think it would be non-farm payroll. Non-farm payroll should be next week, sometimes on the second Friday, but I don't think it's ever like the last Friday of the month. Anyways, we have a pretty big wick. We did take out the sell side and we did take out the buy side. Remember, I said I wasn't expecting this to get taken, but it did. And we still have those highs up there. Let me just zoom out a little bit. This high back over here. So this could be a potential target, and we've already taken out the buy side. So we could be heading up. And remember, we do have that large daily SIBI above us. But like I said, being a Friday, we may not get much. We may just kind of like, you know, chop around a little bit and then come take this high and then just go sideways for the rest of the day. Just before 9:30, and you can look at the price action here. It looks disgusting, really gross. You know, all these long wicks. You know, it could be a seek and destroy day. Does not really look like a good trading day to me. 9:30, we went down lower, taking out more sell side, but as you can see, it is very choppy. All the wicks are overlapping. There's no inefficiencies, so just gonna keep waiting until we see our first inefficiency, and then I can make some sort of analysis off of that. All right, so getting close to 10 o'clock, we did chop around here for a little while, and okay, so this is what I'm thinking. We took out the sell side, and remember, this was 50% of that really large overnight rally. So we are heading up. Remember, we do have these relative highs. As long as we don't take it out, we do have a fair value gap here. I'm not sure I really want to take it because the risk will have to be down here, the entry up here. So that's gonna be like 60, 55 points. That's maybe a little too big. We could come down, wait for a confirmation fair value gap, and if we have a smaller risk, we can take that. But like I said, with all this chop, you know, I'm not really excited to trade today. Okay, so price did come back down into this fair value gap. If you were able to, you know, use 50 points of risk or whatever, this would have been a good trade to go up for the relative highs. But now that we've taken out these highs, I don't know if I have that much to expect for this price action. I'm going to keep watching, but going out to a 15-minute, you can see that we pretty much took out the sell side here, rebalanced this inefficiency, and we took out the buy side. Now, if I get confirmation, I guess I can aim for this high. It's just that with the big move here, I expect today to be a pretty small range day. So here we are at 12:15. After taking out the buy side, we came back down into that daily SIBI, bounced off of it, created a new high, but then that was pretty much it. Chopped around at the highs for the rest of the day. Like I said, probably not much good price action. Like the only hope was really just taking out that buy side. And here's a look at the end of the day. It did go a little bit higher, but look at the price action. This is not, you know, good price action to be holding your trades in. You'll be really nervous, and pretty much just went up and down sideways around the highs of the day. So that's pretty much it for this week. Thank you so much for joining me for another backtesting session. Please like this video, subscribe if you haven't done so, come back again. We will be finishing off the week of April, and we will have non-farm payroll week again next week. But until I see you guys next time, safe trading.